in the face of Superman.
Welcome, everyone. This is Russ Scalzo, Chronicles of the End Times. Thank you for being with me today. Today we have a very important podcast. We're going to be listening to a few clips from Jim Richards. And if you don't know Jim Richards, I would understand he's not a rock star or a giant political figure or a sports hero, but he's a very intelligent man. He's held positions in Citibank. He successfully negotiated a $3.6 billion rescue of the firm via U.S. Federal Reserve in 1998. He's worked on Wall Street for 35 years, and I could go on and on. He has a really great handle on the financial marketplace, not only in the United States, but around the world. He's the author of Currency Wars, Making of the Next Global Crisis, and 6 other books. The reason I bring him up is because we're going to be talking a little bit about how close we are to a one-world monetary system. Now, this has been talked about pretty steadily for the last 50 years at least, and I'm sure well before that. He was recently interviewed on the Daniela Cambone show. Although you're only going to get small clips of this, I really encourage you to go on YouTube and watch it. It will be a real education and an eye-opener. If you've been listening to this podcast for any length of time, I know that you are a prophecy buff, and I'm sure that I'm not the only podcast you listen to or study I hope that you take when it comes to last days prophecies, because there are many misinterpretations along the way. I'm sure some of you have heard them. But today we're going to do a very important update on how close we are to the one world global system, and a warning to those who think it's hundreds of years away. We're going to pick it up here in this interview where Daniela is asking Jim Richards about the 86 million accounts that were closed or canceled in Vietnam because of what they call security. Let's check it out.
If we could see tie-ins to what's happening in Vietnam, which I feel is not getting enough press. Vietnam's mandatory biometric IDs led to, as I said in my intro, 86 million bank accounts being frozen or erased, framed as a security measure. Is this a testing ground for centralized digital control, do you think, Jim? And Genius Act going to pave the way for that to happen here?
Possibly. I think that as far as Vietnam is concerned, people forget they are communists. I mean, I know there's a prosperous economy and we're investing. I get all that. But they're still communists. Let's not forget who communists are. But yeah, it's a trial run. I mean, I've warned about central bank digital currencies for years. They're all these things, Danielle, they're sold on the basis of convenience. It's better, faster, cheaper. Credit cards are clunky, 2.5% fees. Get me a central bank digital currency. We can have our own account at the Fed on our iPhones, and I can send money to you. It's like Venmo with a Venmo on the Fed wire, right? Except that they've got all your data. They know what books you're buying. They know what religion you are. They know what groups you contribute to. They know what political party you are. And when they want to profile you, seize your money and shut down your accounts, debanking, when that's going on, it's very easy to do. So, or just confiscate your money. So, which the U.S. is doing to the Russians. This is all happening all around us. We've seen it elsewhere. It happened in Cyprus in 2015. So, get ready.
Well, I guess this is my question, because the narrative was, oh, no, we made it, we signed that, central bank digital currencies cannot be pushed forward. But this is just, I think I had another guest on once who put it beautifully that it's just a magic trick. Like, gone are the central bank digital currencies, but they're just ushered in under disguise. And that's what it feels like to me, Jim.
Well, I think you're right. First of all, you're correct that Trump issued orders saying you can't have a central bank digital currency. But the research, the R&D continues. They continue to develop it at the bank level. So bank to bank, B of A to Citi or Citi to Morgan Stanley, et cetera. That's going on. So do you and I have central bank digital currencies? No. But behind the curtain, the bank to bank blockchain transfer system is still being developed so that when Trump won't be president forever and MAGA won't be dominant forever, when the time comes to impose this, it'll be very easy to do because they're continuing the R&D.
So the beat goes on. Basically, what he's saying, in case you aren't aware, President Trump has put a block on central bank digital currency for America, which means we're not going to have this one world system in America. But behind the scenes, the technology is racing forward, just like with AI. The problem is that we can't control the development of it because The whole world's involved. It's a rat race. Everybody wants to get to the gold. At the great gold rush back in the 1800s, they don't care what the price is. They don't care what they have to do to get there. They're going to go and dig for the gold because that's how it was. It was crazy. So this is the new gold, right? The AI is the new gold. Whoever can control the AI, whoever can get the most out of the AI, they're going to be the winners. So it's impossible to hold anybody back because we can make laws here in America, but they're not going to apply to China. They're not going to apply to Japan. They're not going to apply to Europe or Russia or anywhere else for that matter. So it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. And that, I believe, is up to God Almighty. So what are the ramifications of this? Well, let's listen to the next short clip and see what Jim Richards has to say about it.
If we're forced to be in a digital dollar of, it's backed by stable coin of whatever, we run the risk that our accounts and our money can be frozen, that we lose that control.
Yes, it's going to happen. Show me a market where it didn't happen eventually. I mean, I can, they studied the history of financial panics. There were some in the mid-14th century, in the 1350s. The two biggest banks in Milan were the House of Bardi and the House of Peruzzi. And they both, Florence rather, sorry, and they both froze up. It was, kind of played right into the Black Death. My point being, these things always happen. They will continue to happen. What's new is that it's digital, it's bigger, faster. AI plays a role because people are using AI to program their actions, so the redemption will be just like that. So no, people don't understand what's happening. They should. I've been writing about it, but if you want to boil it down, stable coins are unregulated money market funds. Money market funds that were regulated froze up and were bailed out in 2008. What do you think is going to happen to an unregulated money market fund where we don't even know what's going on inside? We don't even know what they own. They're not audited.
You were a supporter of President Donald Trump.
Yes.
But you are critical. Is it a correct statement to say that you are against the Genius Act?
So yeah, I'm a big supporter of President Trump, and I have a lot of good things to say about a lot of his policies. But I'm also an analyst. I don't fall in line behind the narrative just because I like one party or another.
It was a great interview. I do suggest that you listen to it. I like to get different views. Now, I don't know about Jim Richards. I don't know about his personal life, if he's a Christian or what his thoughts are, if he reads his Bible, if he knows about the prophecies of the Antichrist and the mark of the beast, but I'm sure he's heard of it by now. Either way, we need to stay informed by people who know what's going on the inside and how close we are to all of these changes. And some Christians I talk to, unfortunately, they say, well, what do we care about that? We're going to be long gone by the time that happens. That is the wrong attitude. We don't know for sure exactly when the plug is going to be pulled. But we do know this, that we have a mission and we should be caring and reaching out to the lost. If you're interested, you could learn more about the stable coin, which is pegged to the US dollar, and it can be used to buy Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Although President Trump said there shall be no central bank digital currency, could stablecoin be a step in that direction, just coming through another avenue? I'd like to just take a moment and say again why I do what I do here at Chronicles of the End Times, and why I hope others who talk about Bible prophecy do as well, is to remind us that we do not have all the time in the world, that there is a beginning and an end to everything. And it's easy for a lot of people, a lot of churches, Christian organizations to bypass Bible prophecy because it's sticky business and nobody has all the answers, which is true, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't look into it because God has given us so much. He's given us all the prophecies in the Old Testament and prophecies in the New Testament given to us by Jesus himself, and then, of course, the revelation of Jesus Christ. Let's take a look at what John says in his first letter. Dear friends, now we are children of God, and what we will be has not yet been made known. But we know when Christ appears, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. All who have this hope in him purify themselves just as he is pure. What John is saying here is, if we keep in mind that Jesus is coming, it helps to keep us sharp and aware so we do not fall so easily into sin, and we do not so easily walk away from fellowship with Jesus. We are human beings, and whether we want to admit it or not, we have weaknesses and we have tendencies, and those tendencies are like our default position, and we always want to go down into the flesh. We always want to relax. We want to lay back, take our vacations, retire from God, retire from, doing the work of God. It's in us, and if we recognize it, then we will be better people, and we will be prepared for when the trump blows and Christ comes back, whatever time period that is. Whether you believe it's before the tribulation, during the tribulation, or wherever, it doesn't matter. If you have that fire in you and you realize the time. Remember, Jesus told the religious people of the day that you can discern the skies as to what the weather's going to be the next day, but you cannot discern the signs of the times. We don't want to be that way. I hope this has been a blessing to you. And don't forget to check out Daniela Cambone's podcast and get the whole story of what we were sharing today. This is Russ Scalzo for Chronicles of the End Times. Keep looking up. The King is coming.